Okay, onwards to participant observation. And now we start to shift to that last spot where we see the variation in how to gather data. Participant observation is particularly close. We get to see everybody. We get to know the players, and that's what you did in that second lab, or the last lab assignment you did, is that in that lab as you actually get, you've taken, it is because it is people you already know. You've breached what, or broached what would normally be for a researcher take considerable effort to get to. Now you've been living and breathing an environment, so you are a participant. It's not any different. And I hope what you're getting now is, so Goffman is the prime example of participant observation. He took on a role as a cleaner. That allowed him to get in, get access. It's a social role that is lower status, so he's dismissed in the social environment, because with the social role comes power, and with that power comes a presentation front, right, that others that you would give to others, and that's what he saw was his inmates putting on presentation fronts for those with power, the nurses, the doctors, RNAs now we would call them, but the orderlies, everybody that had keys, everybody that had decision-making authority over the inmates. The inmates presented in a different way depending on who is in the room. And that's the front stage, backstage. So what Goffman gets to is face work, what we all do in different ways. And think about how you present to your family, to your friends, to your bosses, your coworkers. Don't think so much about what you do in that presentation as well. Think about what you don't do. Think about what you leave out. The leaving out is significant because that's where you start to get to a place of what should why do you leave it out? What's the presentation front? What do you want to keep held back? What do you not want to be vulnerable in with and not exposing, much like the interview? So the overlap in methods and what you're after, it's that ultimately research is getting in underneath, trying to understand the backstage. That's what we want to get close to. And the backstage is where all the key information exists. That's where you find out who's got power. Is it the big boss? Or is it somebody with lower status, but it's the person everyone listens to? Maybe a supervisor at work, or a sibling that children listen to rather than the parent, or the coworker instead of the boss, or those places where authority exists because the person is granted authority. They're granted social status, although the role they exist in socially may not be. You think about the cleaner versus the boss. That's a significant social status difference. Cleaner's important though.